live from North Ipswich Reserve. We're with you for a fantastic round 10 clash between the Central Queensland Capras and the Luxury Paints Ipswich Jets. Great to have you with us on Phoenix Radio, phoenix.com.au. Smith somehow right down the eastern touchline, 12-4 the score. Well, the first attacking opportunity the Capras had.
Hello and welcome to After the 80. I'm Ben Wilmott, and joining me on the panel as always is my co-host Anthony Bomber Breeze. Welcome, Bomber. Finals.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here. The NRL gets going this week. The Intrust went last week, and obviously we're here for the IRL Grand Final coming this Saturday.
Yep,
So
the Mayor Paul Pasali A-Grade Cup.
yes, so no, it should be a great contest between two great teams. Two best teams we've had all year, actually. So.
Well, high praise from the Bomber there. Well, also on the panel this week is the Brothers Ipswich A-Grade coach Jason Connors. Welcome back, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Benny. Good to be here.
Oh, big week for you this week as well.
Yeah, 100% it's a big week, and looking forward to the game on Saturday night.
Excellent. Well, taking on brothers in the IRL Grand Final this Saturday is Daniel Ioane from the Goodna Eagles, and a big week for you as well, mate.
Yeah, it is. Pretty nervous, but should be good.
Looking forward to it. Excellent. Well, one of these guys is going to have a plaque put on this trophy at the end of the week, and we're looking forward to finding out which is which. First up, though, the Intra Super Cup finals, where the Townsville Blackhawks gave the East Tigers a hiding at Jake Mansky Oval, a 46-4 the final scoreline. And Bomber, not a great score from the Tigers going into a final series like this.
No, the Tigers had a good win on the last fixture round there, but obviously the Blackhawks, like you said, I think they're the big danger to the top two sides, and a 46-4 scoreline obviously says it's a thrashing, and that's probably exactly what it was. So that's the end of East, and the Blackhawks move on. I'm sure the two top sides would probably like to get rid of the Blackhawks out of there. So
well, it's a bit of a disappointing way to bow out from a final series, isn't it?
Oh, well, after a whole year there of training and all that there, the semi-finals is what you basically look for, get into the semis and then on the day there, but the Blackhawks were just too big, too strong, and just too experienced. They've got a lot of experienced players, a lot of NRL players in their side. So,
well, that was a big don't ask fend from the winger there going into the try line as we're watching the highlights from the game on the screen at the moment, and looks like the Blackhawks really threw the ball out wide.
Yeah, they did. They used their backs a lot. A lot of quality backs there, so why not use them?
They've got some big backs there as well.
Yeah, really big backs, especially that centre, Pangai. It's really hard to stop, and he's got a good fend on them too. Yep.
Well, East have had one of the biggest packs in the competition as well, so it was pretty surprising to see their defence not hold up against the Blackhawks like that.
Yeah, well, East normally pride themselves in defence, and I don't know how many Storm players played on the weekend. I think a lot of them were at the minor premiership game down in Melbourne. Must have flew up that day. Yep. I don't know if that sort of took a toll on them, but East weren't prepared and it didn't come out firing, and Townsville did, and Townsville got the result.
You impressed with Townsville as well?
Yeah, 100%. I think around the park they got strike weapons everywhere, especially at fullback. I think that's Jerome Hughes, who's played a little bit of NRL this year. He's a strike weapon, and they got a good forward pack. So I think they're going to be a threat. Like Bomber said, no one likes to play Townsville now coming to the finals.
You've got to take a fair bit of confidence out of being able to post a scoreline like that going into the finals as well.
Yeah, of course. If your team's on a roll, you got momentum going into the finals, and there's a lot of confidence there.
Yeah, well, we saw a fair bit of confidence there on the number 3's face as he's crossing the try line. Bomber, you said you're pretty impressed with the Blackhawks as well. Do you think they're the pick of the group?
Yeah, well, obviously from last year, they were probably the best team all of last year there, and I think everybody didn't give anyone a chance other than the Blackhawks, the team they assembled last year. But obviously, as the finals went on there, it just proved on the day with the Jets getting them in the finals there. I'm sure they'll be better prepared this year for a run, and now they're one game closer to the grand final.
Do you see a team coming out like the Jets did last year? Give them a shake-up?
Oh, well, there's still other teams there. Sunny Coast is still alive there, like you said, and the Blackhawks there. But Burleigh and Redcliffe have set the standard all year, so obviously with them playing this weekend, we'll see.
Well, it was a much tighter match as the PNG Hunters went down to the Sunshine Coast Falcons at home. Just 6 points in the score in the end. And Jason, the Hunters have had a great run at home, not losing a game at home all season. A bit disappointing to lose this one in the finals.
Yeah, 100%. Especially with the big crowd, finals time and the week before touching up Sunshine Coast. They would have felt really confident coming into this game. But this guy here, Riley Jacks, I think the last couple of weeks, or I've watched a few games this season, and he's been a standout. I think once he goes well, the side goes well, and he stood up that game, and they got the result in a tough-fought win.
Yeah. Daniel, you said before going into the show that you're a bit of a fan of the Falcons as well. Were you impressed with the win?
Yeah, I was really impressed with the win. You know, they have a lot of quality players, especially that Eddie Totali at the back there. He's a big threat at the back, and really gets the team going in broken play.
It's got to be quite disappointing for the Hunters, Bomber. Winning every game at home, you've got a great run, you've made a fortress, and then this is how you go down. Yeah,
well, not losing a game at home there, and obviously having the home crowd, as you can see in the shots before there, the grandstands on both sides and both ends are just full.
Yep.
Look at them, look how they just love their football there, but obviously semi-final football's different to during the year there. Teams seem to play it a little bit more differently, a little bit more intensity in the semi-finals, and these games are do or die.
Yep.
During the season, they're not do or die. Like this is do or die. Now the season's over for PNG after not losing a game at home all year. So,
Jason, is it a mentality kind of thing as well?
I don't know, nerves. Nerves play a big role in finals football. Teams start going away what works throughout the season. Confidence is a big thing, so maybe got the nerves got the better of them. I couldn't tell you, but Sunshine Coast came with a game plan and stuck to it and got the results. So well done to Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, well, it's almost the second time that they've been bundled out of a final series. I know last year that they had to play both finals in Australia, and they said that was a bit of an issue surrounding their performance coming into the finals. But you can't make any excuses with that one, can you?
No, that's right. Second year into the final series, they should be better prepared. But well done Sunshine Coast, and they got a chance now to go on. Yep.
Well, as you said, Bomber, we'd like to see that kind of crowd number at North Ipswich Reserve for an Ipswich Jets grand final as well. But unfortunately, this is going to be an interesting final series with the Blackhawks and the Falcons both going through, and great matchups for this weekend as well.
Yeah, well, obviously the matchups this weekend are big now. We're left with 4 teams, and I think the 4 teams, either of them 4 teams can win the grand final. So they're all in great form, them 4 teams. So.
Excellent. Well, we'll take a look at week 2 of the finals later in the show. Up next, the weekend's IRL results as the grand final draws near, and a look at how the NRL final series is shaping up with 3 Queensland teams in the mix. That and more still ahead here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80, and a battle for a place in the Ipswich Rugby League Grand Final played out at North Ipswich Reserve on Sunday. And Jason, a solid win for Brothers over Fassfern. How was it playing in it?
Well, it was tough early, and I was anticipating a tough start, which we weathered, and then we got a momentum early. We scored a few quick tries that led the platform. But Fassfern never gave up. They kept fighting and we kept responding, so they'd score late, then we'd score, and we put the game to bed with a few solid tries.
Fassfern are a pretty well-known attacking side. How important was that good start to get off on the right foot?
It was extremely important. Playing Goodna last week, I thought our intensity may drop, and I was a little bit worried during the week if that was the case, but it wasn't. I think the first 5 minutes it was a bit even, then we scored just before the 10-minute mark, and then scored another try quick after that, and that laid the platform. But like I said, Fassfern just kept playing attacking football, and they got a few tries to keep staying in the game, but we kept maintaining our pressure and scoring as well. So.
Both yourselves and Fassfern went in there with a few injuries to some key players. How important is your depth in a club to be able to cover those injuries come finals?
Extremely important. We've got players that can play multiple roles, or we've got players that maybe a winger in reserve grade or a dummy half in reserve grade that could play A grade, all the way down to C grade. So we're lucky with depth, and depth is important because early in the year we had a few injuries and we've groomed some players into those positions, and now they're reaping the rewards. Finals time now, so it's good.
Bomber, the return of Ray Bearer wasn't the super comeback that he probably would have liked. Come back in a final series and get the win over Brothers would have been a bit of a fairy tale finish for Fassifern.
Yeah, well, when I got the game sheet in there, Ray's name was on it there. There was a bit of a buzz going around that Ray was back there. He had the knee strapped up there. I don't think he was real happy. He didn't get on to about the second half. And when he got on there, he took the intercept and raced about 40 metres there. And he also had some very other dart and runs. So maybe if he was used a little bit earlier, it might have been a different story. But not knowing how bad the injury was, I suppose that's why he wasn't put on there a little bit earlier. So
Great kicking performance from your fullback, though, Jason. 8 from 8. That's pulling out the great stops when you need it.
Exactly right. Josh, he wasn't happy with his game last week against Goodna. So he had a point to prove this year, but I think he's been, since we moved him back to fullback, I think he's been outstanding for us. He chimes in, he can ball play, he can take the line there, and he's got a good kicking game. So I've been impressed with Josh this season, and hopefully he continues that this weekend.
Yeah. Daniel, you had your captain Ramon out there watching the game between Brothers and Fassifern. Did he give you guys any tips at training on Tuesday night of what he saw?
Nah, not that much. But he just said, make sure we're switched on. Make sure we prepare as best as possible. So
And you had the week off. You must be enjoying having a little bit of a rest before the grand final.
Yeah, it was good to have the week off. The bodies are all relaxed and injury free. So it should be good.
Get rid of the niggles. Excellent. Well, we've also got the NRL finals kicking off this weekend, and we'll preview. The NRL is into finals mode, and all the 3 Queensland teams are in contention for the Telstra Premiership, but it'll be a tough road for any of them to make the grand final. The first game of the round, it sees a South East Queensland derby at Suncorp Stadium with the Broncos taking on the Titans on Friday night, meaning one of our teams are going to be knocked out. And Bomber, which do you pick is the one that's going to be going through, and which one's going to be going home and finishing their season on Friday night?
Well, I was at the Brisbane game last week, and they started very slow against the Roosters, but they grinded out. They're an 80-minute side there, and in the end there they were well over the top of the Roosters there, and the Titans. Well, probably wasn't the best game for the Titans to be going into the final there. They probably relied on Jared a bit too much there, and obviously it probably wasn't one of his best games. But when he does put a show on, obviously the Titans are a chance. But I do think the Broncos have got probably just too much power all over the field. And no, I see them progressing to week 2.
Yep. It's disappointing that one of the Queensland teams have to go from this game, but we've also got the Cowboys and the Storm going head to head in Melbourne on Saturday night. Jason, the Storm are the minor premiers this year and probably obvious favourites to win this game.
Exactly right. I think defence. We talked about it. You talked about it through the show the last couple of months, but defence wins finals, and I think Storm stride themselves on defence. If they can defend well, they will back and get the points with Cooper Cronk and Cameron Smith, but they stride themselves on defence. So I think if they defend well, they'll get the result down there in Melbourne.
Well, it was the Cowboys who knocked Melbourne out of the final series last year. Do you think they'll be looking for that
revenge?
Revenge to come back again, or do you think the Cowboys have the right game plan?
The Cowboys have got the strike power, but I just think defence and the forward pack in the middle, because that's where it'll be won. I think Melbourne will get the result down in Melbourne.
Daniel, Friday night, Broncos versus the Gold Coast Titans. I know I'm looking forward to it. Have you got a pick out of who's going to go through for that one?
I'm going to have to back the Broncos there.
Yep.
Obviously, they got a lot of strike weapon, right around the field there. But I'm pretty sure Tony and Ben will show up and lead the pack around.
Yep. Well, it's the second last home final for Corey Parker as well, so I'm sure they'll want to give him the proper send-off. Well, let's have a look at the finals path for each of the top 8 teams. And Bomber, who are your picks to make it through to the grand finals now that we see what everyone's going to be dealing with?
Well, it's hard to put anyone into any position there. You can work out your own calendar on which way they're going to go. If the Storm win this week and the Broncos win, you can see that they'll match up on the same side. So
grand final rematch.
Yeah, so obviously second week, the Cowboys Cowboys Brisbane playing each other. So the Cowboys, if they can win that, well then obviously Brisbane will be going to Melbourne. So there's.
What about looking at the second half of the top 8 there? We've got the Panthers taking on the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs haven't been in the best of form going into the final series. Anyone picking a Bulldogs upset to take over the Panthers there?
You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think so at Penrith. But like I said, it's finals football. They've been on a patch of losing, so they're due for a win. They've got a good forward pack. They defend well. They're lacking points, but in finals, you defend well, you can win these games. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bulldogs do beat the Panthers.
Do they get Cassiano back this week after the kicking charge as well?
Yeah, pretty sure they do.
Yep.
So
he's a big boost for them.
Exactly right. He's their go forward and impact of the bench. The big forward pack. I wouldn't be surprised if Bulldogs win that game.
Daniel, Raiders, Cronulla. Cronulla came very close to getting a minor premiership, only to find themselves in third place now. It was always going to be Raiders and Cronulla, but how do you see the form of those two teams going in?
Yeah, Cronulla kind of fell off, coming into the finals, but no, I'm liking the Raiders. They got good momentum and they just got attack at the moment and just killing every team.
Yep. Whiten back in at fullback, that's going to settle down Ricky Stewart and the Raiders there going into this game?
Yeah, well, obviously that's going to be a tough game as well, and obviously the winner of that game gets a big advantage, goes to the grand final qualifiers a week out from the grand final, so one of them is going to go there, and it's probably going to be tough for them because they'll be meeting someone from the top half there, which could be a Melbourne Storm, a Cowboys or a Broncos. So.
If the Cowboys do get the win over the Storm in the first round there, and the Broncos do progress through the Titans, and we have a Broncos Storm semi-final there, do you think the Broncos would be feeling pretty confident after the last time that the two sides met?
Well, obviously 2 weeks ago they went down to Melbourne there, and the intensity, that was probably the Broncos' best game of the season. They were off the line pretty quick, and they just basically belted it. And I think Cameron Smith said that they weren't prepared for what Brisbane gave them. So, but I'm sure Melbourne will be a lot more prepared too this time around.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. Jason, how important are injuries going through such a long final series as well? You've got quite a few weeks to go before the grand final. How do you keep the momentum going?
Injuries are a big key. You want to keep all your players prepared and fresh coming to a final series. So the more rest you can get, the better it's going to be for the teams. Like Cowboys last weekend, they arrested Matt Scott. Well, he's sort of injured, so they know he's a big key figure going down to Melbourne, so they want to make sure he's right. And their reserve players, they thought could get the job against the Titans, and they did, so they'll be relieved with that. And hopefully Matt Scott plays this weekend. Depth is big, so injury-free coming to a finals series is a must.
Yep. Well, it's all going to become a lot clearer after this weekend when we start to narrow it down from 8 to 4. Well, up next, we preview the weekend's Intrust Super Cup matches and take a look at the Ipswich Rugby League Grand Finals here on After the 80. Welcome back to After the 80, and we're into the finals of the Intrust Super Cup, and the second round of quarterfinals sees the Townsville Blackhawks at home again, but this time up against the Sunshine Coast Falcons. Daniel, how do you think the Townsville Blackhawks are going to go against the Falcons this weekend?
I think it'll be a very tough match. It'll probably be one down the backs, I reckon, but I'm pretty sure the Sunshine Coast Falcons, can bring it home.
They've got a lot of NRL experience in both outfits there. Do you think that'll help both of them throughout the finals?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure the NRL, the boys who played NRL will, use their experience in this final, and it should be a good game.
Excellent. Well, the second match of the round, we see the Redcliffe Dolphins taking on the Burleigh Bears at Dolphin Oval. Bomber just 1 point separated these two on the ladder at the end of round 25. This is going to be a tough match again.
Yeah, no, it should be a good game. Like we said all year, these have been the two best sides all year. They've been sitting up in 1 and 2 and around the place most of the year there. But the Dolphins at home there, I don't know whether they would have got much out of the last game when they belted who they built 74 to 8 in the last round. So probably didn't give them a lot there. But obviously they didn't get any injuries from it there. And Burleigh they just seem to do what they have to do there. They've got a great forward pack and some great backs too. So I can see that probably going into golden point or even a field goal to decide it.
That'd be a great finish. Well, Redcliffe did become club champions for the QRL this year as well, so big game for them this weekend. But closer to home, it's finally here, the Ipswich Rugby League Grand Final this Saturday at North Ipswich Reserve. We've got the A-grade Grand Final, sees the Goodna Eagles taking on Brothers Ipswich. Jason, how are the preparations going?
We've got a few injuries to look at this week. Last weekend our dummy half broke his arm, so he's out, he's ruled out, so we're looking for a replacement for him. Our two wingers are under injury clouds, so one just clouded his elbow last game and also an ankle, so we'll be looked at throughout the week and trying to fix replacements for this weekend. But other than that, we're comfortable. We're excited. We're going into the game with nothing to lose, so should be a really good battle.
Oh, definitely. Well, you guys got the biscuit last time you came up against Brothers, but they bounced back with an impressive win over Fassifern. How are you looking for this weekend?
Yeah, they did have a good win over Fassifern, but this week, everyone's in good spirits down at our club, injury free, and with a full strength side. So. We're just looking to prepare as best as we can and just go into the final and give it our all.
Yep. Also got the Colts in there as well. Must be happy to have two teams there on Grand Final day.
Yeah, it's good. It's unlucky our Reggies didn't make it through, but
minor premiers though.
Minor premiers, but it's good to have two teams at least in the final.
Yep. Well, Jason, you've got the Grand Slam going into the finals as well. Going to be a good feeling having all three in the mix.
Yeah, it's a good feeling down at the club at the moment. And I think all the hard work this year, it's credit to all coaches and all staff this year at Brothers, and even our C grade got a win against Goodna. So it was unlucky for their reserve grade. It would have been Goodna and Brothers in all grades. So really excited and looking forward to the weekend and what brings.
Bomber, we've seen Brothers and Goodna go toe-to-toe at Brother Siri Oval and end up in a draw after 80 minutes. Do you think we could be in for another extra time grand final?
Oh, well, you never know. That's when both teams are in a bit of form now. Obviously, Brothers, they were a little bit ordinary early on in the year, but they've warmed into it, and obviously Goodna have been the yardstick for the whole year. They've been very consistent there. Like I said, it's probably going to come down to either the goal kicking from Josh Leesman or maybe a field goal from Corey Kirk from Goodna there. So I think it's going to be a tight contest. So.
I'm sure Josh has been putting in some extra kicking practice this week as well.
Yeah, I get him out there work. He's playing goal kicking at the moment. Like I said, it could be that close. It could be a field goal. It could be a kick. It could be a penalty here. Who knows? So, but we just got to stop their momentum. They've got a big forward pack. If we can stop their momentum, I think we're in with a chance. If we don't, then Goodna could roll away with it. But it's a grand final, so everyone should be prepared to put their body on the line, and hopefully we do that on the weekend.
Yep. Excellent. Well, you've also got the Colts and the reserve grade kicking off beforehand. Do you think it'd be important to get the day off on the right foot with the earlier games as well?
Yeah, I'm sure the 19s, Coach Paddy and Desi would like to get the result. I think we're having a little bit of a lunch, so we'll get there late for the 19s. But if we can get a good start with them, I think that would build momentum with the crowd, and hopefully they get behind us later in the game. And Daniel's. You could have been playing in that 19s game, mate? But you're up in the A grade, so we'll be battling out, me and Daniel, so at 5 o'clock. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully the boys get a good start during the day.
You've got a few of the younger brothers in that 19s team for the A grade. There's Olatoa brothers in pretty much all the teams at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. PJ's the only Olatoa brother in the 19s, and the other two older brothers are in Reggie's and A grade. So.
We had a great chip and chase on the weekend from fullback to score a try on the weekend, and that was is he a bit of a flashy player? Is he getting that from his older brother, or?
I'm pretty sure he's the better one out of the two, but he plays like Tony Milford, so he's a really good little player.
He's got a big head of hair on him too, as well for a young fella.
Yeah, he's not scared. That's it.
Excellent. Well, now, if you can't make it down to the North Ipswich Reserve on Saturday, you can watch our exclusive live stream of the A-grade match from 5 p.m. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/AfterTheAD-TV for all the details. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thanks to Daniel, Jason and Bomber for joining me on the panel. We hope to see you there on Saturday. Otherwise, until next time, I'm Ben Wilmott, and good night.